Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday. Today is going to be a rather short vlog. I'm just going to be asking you a series of questions because I want you guys to kind of think about some things that maybe you've never even thought about before. I want you to consider these things, give them some thought, and then talk about how you think things should be in the comments below. I should probably get to the actual question. The other day I talked a bit on the vlog about emulation. The vlog was about emulation is not evil, and my biggest example there was games like Earthbound, games that were released once, have never been released again, and how you shouldn't feel bad about emulating them, downloading them, and playing them because there's no way to support the developers. Today we're going to be looking at the other side of that coin. We're going to be looking at games that can be purchased again today, because I think that there's a lot of factors, and I don't think it's such a clear-cut answer. I don't think there's a really fine line on the matter, and I think that sometimes, depending on the circumstances, it can change, and you guys might feel the same. So I've actually written out a list of questions, because honestly I tried to record this earlier and I just rambled on, so I'm going to make this short. But the main point was Earthbound isn't being manufactured, so it's obviously okay to download. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, I can't instruct you to download ROMs, but you know, Nintendo isn't making any money off of it, so here's the flip example. I'm going to use Donkey Kong Country, but you can use any game on the Virtual Console that was once available, that is available again for purchase. Super Metroid, you know, whatever floats your boat. Here's the number one question that I'm asking you guys. When is it okay to emulate, and when is it not? And here are the sub-questions that make up that question. Do you have to buy a Wii and a Virtual Console copy of Donkey Kong Country? Think about that, because the argument for it would be, you know, back in the day you have to buy the Super Nintendo. You know, buying the system was your entry fee into being able to play the Nintendo exclusive games, right? So the argument today would be you need to buy a Virtual Console because that is the current Nintendo system if you want to be able to play Donkey Kong Country, even if it's an old game. Reasonable request. Okay, so what if you buy a used Super Nintendo copy? Let's say you don't have a Wii. Let's say you have an Xbox, or it doesn't really matter. You don't have a Wii. And instead of buying a Wii and a Virtual Console copy of the game, you decide to buy a Super Nintendo cartridge for, you know, $5, $7 at the flea market. Do you then have permission to emulate the game? I mean, essentially, if you had the tools, if you had the necessary hardware, you could put the cartridge in and create your own ROM. So, is it okay? Now here's where things get really weird, because maybe you've already never thought about this stuff, so you're like, man, this is weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little odd, and there's no fine line, you know, there's no this is right, this is wrong. Okay, now if you're gonna buy the Super Nintendo cartridge, then why buy it at all? If your purpose is to just play the game, and it's not vital to you that you play on a Super Nintendo, then why buy the game at all? You see why we've made this triangle? Because if you want to buy it on the console, you can. You can buy a Wii, and you can buy Donkey Kong Country, and it would cost you, like, what, $108 plus tax to play Donkey Kong Country. Or you could go out to a store, you know, a used game store, and buy Donkey Kong Country for $5. And if you're going to do that, and Nintendo's not going to get the money, then why not just download it? Weird triangle thing going on. Okay. So then the question I have is, why buy Virtual Console? I figure if you're buying Virtual Console, you're doing it for one of two reasons, or maybe both reasons. You're either doing it for convenience, because it's pretty sweet having digital games. You don't have to have cartridges. I mean, I know that I'm a collector and I like collecting the physical copies, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have the old systems, and it's really cool to be able to flip through and actually, you know, play games. It's convenient. Or is it to support Nintendo? Because I know a lot of people that, you know, even if they own the game already, they'll buy it again because they want to support Nintendo. I'm like that with Earthbound. If they ever released Earthbound on, you know, like DS or 3DS or something, oh my god, I would buy so many copies of that game. I would be so happy. So I know that some people are like that. And this doesn't apply to just Nintendo. So I know that there's a lot of Nintendo fans out there, but there's also a lot of people that don't care so much about Nintendo. It goes the same with Sony or Microsoft. Because Sony is offering a lot of their PlayStation 1 games, so you could apply all of what I'm saying to you guys as well. Now, here's another thought, another complete thought. What if you bought your copy of Donkey Kong Country new? What if you bought it new back in the day? Does that give you the right? Because you already gave Nintendo their money, right? That transitions into something completely different, which is used gaming. Because all the games that you buy used, none of that money goes to the developers. And then we come to our last point that I made on this, because I have almost like a PowerPoint up here. If you buy a game new and you sell it back to GameStop, let's say you go to Walmart and you buy a game new so the developers get the money, then you take that game and you sell it back to GameStop and get half the money, even though GameStop wouldn't give you half. Is it then okay to emulate / pirate it? Have you thought about that one? I mean, it's weird stuff, and I know, but it's stuff that a lot of people don't think about, and I've pondered, and I don't have answers for all this stuff. You know, I don't. I try to support developers any way I can, because I know the gaming industry struggles more than we know. Obviously, there's some franchises that don't, but some of our most beloved franchises do. So I try to support them when I can, but I want to hear your answers on this. Because a lot of this stuff is stuff that, you know, even when I started writing it out, I thought of questions. I was like, man, I've never even thought of that before. But it's stuff that is worth thinking about, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Anyway, what it really all came down to, is it okay to emulate and when is it not? But take all the questions and just kind of boil it and wrap it all into a big, fat, nice, juicy comment. If you need to take several comments to do it, just comment and then reply to yourself so everyone can read it just all in a row. But I really want to see what you guys think about this. Emulation is a subject that you guys were really passionate about, and I knew that because you guys had a lot to say. A lot to say on the emulation vlog. So I wanted to jump back and talk about a few things that you guys have probably never considered. Anyway, that's going to be it today. How long was this? Oh, okay, so it wasn't too bad. It was 7 minutes or so, but I do appreciate you watching, and I would love to say that I knew what you guys thought of yesterday's vlog, but I'm having some serious YouTube trouble, and it's not going up. But as soon as it goes up, then I'll find out if it's okay that I'm not answering comments from, you know, 12 years ago. But thank you guys for watching. And this vlog actually is a pretty good timing, because I am just finishing up talking with someone about doing Craigslist deal tomorrow, and it should interest you guys. If you guys are interested in old games, it should be a good transaction. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.